Okay, now this relatively unimpressive scene that you're looking at is kind of my first attempt at reproducing digital is probably the wrong word, but virtual articulator. Here I have condyles. These two little straight lines represent our condylar path. Later I'll show you some teeth or some custom incisal guide tables so that we get some semblance of an occlusion, and then the muscles of mastication are our hands, just like they are in a physical articulator. So I'll start by hiding these and just letting these two lines be our condylar paths. If we jump over to the manual from, I think this is a Cavo manual, and you can see that in sagittal section we have this nice curved path. Some articulators have straight paths, but just to show you that we have here is we can come in here, we can adjust this path shape any way we want. And if we tab out of edit mode, we can rotate any way we like. I've got it at 25 degrees. And then Y being 190 is the equivalent of 10 degrees, 10 degrees from 180. So our Bennett angle, if we look at this from above, is 10 degrees. I don't know why this is 190, but that's fine. So you can see over here, we've got 10 degree Bennett angle, 25 degree condylar angle, and the same thing goes for curvature. If we needed, immediate side shift, we could get that in there as well, however we needed to. But the takeaway here is that these paths are totally customizable. Okay, so now let's build a little bit more of our articulator. Images. Okay, so here we have our images. Let's say we took a face bow and we're able to mount our upper and lower models. Okay, good, everything's working. Can take a peek at all these other bones back here, and I've, granted this doesn't come out all the way here to an incisal table like it should, but the principle is still there. And then I have a custom guide table, which for now is just something that I made on my own, but in the future could be a 3D scan of pretty much anything. So one problem I have here is my pin. I haven't dropped my pin. I'm not exactly sure the best way to do that for right now. Let me pause this and then come right back. Okay, so I dropped the pin, so to speak. That's something I'll definitely have to work on. And now, if I show my occlusal guide table that I've just kind of contrived this random surface, when we play through these animations, we can get the motions. Now, I've definitely got, the size of my paths in this table relative to the size of these motions here is entirely too big. And instead of doing 1, 2, 3, 4, so about 5 or 6 frames of useful movement, the rest of which is entirely out of the scope of what would be normal ranges of motion. So I have to tune this a little bit to get it where it needs to be. But when I was kind of mounting these, I don't think these models were given to me in perfect occlusion. Look over here, you can see we're we're class 1. We've got a really nice kind of picket fence style fitting here, and there's a good chance that this canine, even though there's space here, probably guides pretty well. You can see this little wear set, and consequently we don't have any major wear on these premolars. Now over here, you see we're not as class 1, we're a little more class 2. the canine and the molars being pushed distally. And look at this, sheared off flat cusp tips. And if we follow my 3-frame articulation here, 1, 2, 3, you can see that there, boom, 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 group function, or interferences, whatever you want to call it. So this is pretty neat. But so let's say we had a real guide table and this were calibrated a little more correctly. What we could do is hide this, it'll still work, is take this occlusion surface, apply that, I'm going to hide the lower model. Alright. And then what we want to do is we want to record this at every step along the way. Just make sure, good, these are balanced like they're supposed to. Okay, so I haven't quite scripted this yet, but I run this, advance the animation. There we go. We can use this to make like tracks in the snow. As you can see, we're already well outside the envelope of motion. So okay, so now if we were building a full set of teeth against this lower model, we would have this generated surface here which would show us kind of the full range of motion, which would allow us to build whatever occlusion we wanted to against these without interferences. So sorry for the slow manual demonstration there, but that is what that would allow us to do. So pretty neat. Hope that you liked it, and I will be updating soon.